Everybody who owns a Mazda that wants to go fast wants a Mazdaspeed. Mazda, unfortunately, doesn't offer any Mazdaspeeds anymore. Myself, I have a Mazdaspeed 6, and I've had 5 of those. That's been fun. Also, disaster. Maybe they'll come back and review the Speed 6 when it's making over 700 wheel. Yeah, this trim level, it's a 04 Velocity Red GT, which is the leather cloth soft top. All black interior with red stitching, and it's pretty much the best Miata you get. And guess what? It has the freaking tape deck on it. It's got the tape deck. That was a big option. A lot of these cars didn't have it, so I was like, okay, it's fully loaded with the color matched mirror and everything. This is my dad's car, the second Mazdaspeed Miata that we've owned. The dumb kid in me on Memorial Day at 17 decided it was a good idea to go have fun with his buddy. We're ripping down some back roads, and I downshifted in the middle of a turn and almost hit a road sign, but didn't hit the road sign, so I didn't get a ticket. However, I ended up in a ditch against a tree. That was fun. So this is the second car. Both have been Velocity Red. Since then, it's a Flyin Miata big Enchilada kit. Flyin Miata bought the old scrapped car from us for about $2 grand, and then threw us a free intercooler and said, here, go for it. So all we had left to do was buy the Hydra Nemesis ECU and the 700cc injectors and put it all together. Car dynoed at 210 and 224 wheel torque, and it's pretty fun. It's a little go-kart. I mean, it was never meant to be a super fast car. It just meant to be a nice little show car that you just drive around and enjoy on the weekends. It's a blast. We pretty much share it. Drive it on the weekends, take pictures with my girlfriend in it. Like, I don't know, the girlfriend loves the Miata. That's the cool part. I mean, people used to call it a hairdresser car. No. This is like the ultimate factory Miata you can buy, and with the full bolt-on kit, it's where it's at. It's just a good car, really fun to drive.
So Napp Motorsports back in our natural habitat, a turbocharged Miata. Yes, this is a turbocharged Miata, but it is actually my first NB Miata experience. And I gotta say, just right off the bat, this power 210 wheel, it is so attainable and just usable, and it's just fun. It is fun. It doesn't scare you. I'm not breaking any speed limits, but man, it's just fun. It wants to go. This is how all Miatas should have been offered at some level. This is our only Mazdaspeed Miata we ever got, and this is what everyone is trying to make their cars like at that 200 power level. That is just so great. It's not a slow car, but it's not going to scare you. Yes, we're working with a stock suspension, which I believe is allegedly, the internet would say, underdampened and oversprung from the factory. It doesn't feel bad to me, but I might not have the palate, as some people have, of really fine-tuning or reviewing a suspension. It feels a little wallowy. I will say that. That's pretty normal for a stock Miata to have that roly-poly sense. Man, you add that noise of a turbo and all the noises really of the turbo that it can produce, and you're just taking an already fun experience and throwing all the fun noises at it at once. Yep. So I've done a review of 2 other cars that are much faster than this on these same roads, and I am going so much faster on the Miata, and of course then I see a pedestrian. It's just an easier car to drive quickly on B roads. It's small, it fits the roads better, and then with this power, it's just fun, man. I'm back to my yeps. I cannot wait to turbocharge my Miata this winter. 210 wheel. I'm wondering what 250-ish is like. This just seems like such a perfect power level. And it's still quick. Yeah, oh yeah, that's not slow. The NB in a Mazdaspeed trim, it's a really pretty car. You know, when I was shooting the rollers, looking at it, it is a really great looking car. And it's hard to look at this and then look back at an NA and say that the NA is a better looking car. It is. It's hard to say that. It really is. They did do a good job of making this look like a great car, and the subtle things that they did from the factory to make it a Mazdaspeed, I think really add to it. And you NB owners out there, yeah, you may not have pop-up headlights, but you still got a Miata, and they're still damn fun.
So this is the first Mazdaspeed Miata I have ever driven, and it is probably the cleanest one I've ever put my eyes on. From the factory, the Mazdaspeed Miatas, they kind of lacked, they made more power than any other factory Miata, obviously, but I think they made like 170 wheel. We'll look up the right number and throw it up here. Whereas now with Flyin Miata's big Enchilada kit, it essentially ups it to a real 1.8 turbo setup. Still on stock suspension, stock sway bars. He's on good tires. I believe he's on RE71Rs or something like that. So it'll grip, which is nice. And you know, stock Miata suspension isn't bad. We drive all sorts of modified Miatas with crazy suspension, and when you go back to OEM, it's not bad at all. That goes good. So it's a 6-speed. Every MSM came with a 6-speed, and it's, I believe, a 3.9 diff in the back. So the gearing ratio is pretty good. The 6-speeds obviously have a terrible ratio, but it doesn't feel bad. I'm not shifting all the time like I thought I'd be, and it sounds awesome. It is running with the big Enchilada kit, Hydra Nemesis, which if you're like an OG Miata guy, you know the Hydra Nemesis. It was before Megasquirt. It was the ECU to buy. They've kind of faded off the market a bit. Dylan has one sitting in a box at home. Not sure what we're gonna do with it. It's a bit cold today. Oh, that's incredible. That's amazing. I've driven my fair share of turbo Miatas, and this pulls harder than all of them. Off the bat, no lag, pulls immediately, pulls hard, and pulls constantly. You know, the 300 horsepower car, Miata, obviously pulls more on the high end, but this thing is there, and it's constant, and it feels great. Having never driven a Mazdaspeed before, I don't know what to compare it to with a factory one. Oh yes. Oh man, I think I played it down in my mind before we got here, just because everybody says, you know, oh, Mazdaspeed, they're fun, but they're not, like, they don't make unreal power. And I didn't expect the big Enchilada kit to make that much of a difference. But this is sweet. It's just, it's perfect. I wouldn't put more power into this car than what it has right now. I'm not the biggest fan of NBs, but I love the NB Mazdaspeed Miata. It's perfect. And visually, I would daily drive one of these in a heartbeat. Like I'm gonna immediately turn 65 right now, move to Florida, live in the villages, and drive an MSM Miata, and I'm gonna be like the cool Miata owner in the villages because this thing is great.
Well, this is a very typical site, the end of another Miata review.
Finally an NB though.
Yes.
And the best NB.
Yes.
Hey, I like that.
Yes. My first MB, so I'm starting with the best, so it's only downhill from here. No, but in all seriousness, having the Mazdaspeed as the first one to experience is really, really cool. And man, what a good looking car.
But the fact that it makes, what is it, 225 foot-pounds?
225 foot-pounds and 210 wheel horsepower.
In an OEM Plus configuration, right? It's turbo from the factory.
Yep.
It's just more better now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's Same turbo?
Yeah, same turbo.
Yeah.
You just don't get the lag, and you don't get the top end cut off.
Yeah. I mean, it pulls hard and it sounds sick. It sounds so good. You could very easily put that back to stock with the stock pieces, right?
Yeah. Nothing was cut, so it just
Yeah.
goes right back together.
So, I mean, other than, it just being another turbo car that looks amazing, or turbocharged Miata looks amazing, any other standouts for you? I mean,
No,
this is like the best power, like, area for these cars,
Yeah,
it seems like.
yeah.
210 to 250 maybe?
I love that it's just almost stock,
Yeah,
and it's that good.
yeah,
Like
yes.
if I owned one, I would believe it as is.
Yep.
And probably just do the big Enchilada and just drive it.
Yes.
It doesn't need, the big racing seats. It doesn't need like a big roll bar. This one has a roll bar, but it doesn't need the roll bar. It doesn't need wide tires. Doesn't need rolled fenders. Nothing. Just leave it.
Yeah, and it goes fast enough for you to be having plenty of,
Oh yeah.
like, you're not going to be, breaking necks on the highway, obviously, but these B roads that you have around the house, there's nothing better. This is exactly what you need for these roads. So that was really cool. So anyway, if you like this review, leave us a like down below, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. We're doing reviews here. We're wrapping up our season, so stay tuned as we get into build season. But if you like this and have any other questions, comments, just leave them down below. We read them all. It's probably our favorite aspect of posting online, is just going over the comments. So let us know what you think down below, and stay tuned.
Always thumbs up.
Be right back.
This is our roots.
The roots right here.